Hello everyone. In our today's build, I'm going to show you how easily you can integrate Stripe payment checkout in any React e-commerce application. As you see, that's the dummy application which we are going to use, and it has a very good functionality to go and move around to see all the latest feature which require for that Stripe payment. And of course we are maintaining also that our user also, because without the user we will not be able to make login and then create the payment. As you see, that's the card by which we are going to create our payment. As you see, we are not unable to click here because we need to create the user, so we need to make the login. So this entire setup, how you can get it, because I will also provide the video by which you can know how to create that from the scratch. But if you are not having that, how you can get that? So that's the repo link which will be available in the description below, and you can just need to clone it. You just clone it or fork it, whatever you do it, and that's it. So after that, you just need to, because there is two setup of library. As you see, we have one admin, we have one client. You just need to go cd within the admin, then put npm install, then go in the client, put npm install, then all the packages it will be installed. Then there is two things you need to remember. First thing first, you need to go and check this library of that Firebase. You need to put all the key required to access your Firebase app, otherwise it will not figure out to get the actual ratio of for the user authentication. So I'm going to leave from here. Then also what you need here to get back the keys here. So first thing is that for the admin, in the .env file you need to provide one secret key here for the Stripe, which will be that our Stripe secret key. So that's the one we are going to use for creating the route. Also here we need also one Stripe publishable key. So now what we're gonna happen if we click in that checkout, first I will just make the login. So I'm gonna just go with my dummy account here. I'm gonna just create the login. To go back, we'll be able to just create the checkout. And so now if I come in here, okay, if I click, so Stripe checkout is coming. So that's the where we are going to start working. So first let's see our dashboard here. So that's the Stripe dashboard we are going to use. So I'm gonna just change some accounts feature here. So I'm gonna use that super gear. So that's the account I'm going to use to create my Stripe payment. And if you are not knowing how to create the accounts, it's very simple. Just log in or register in the Stripe, then go within your application. That's it. You are good to go. Then you need to create an application. That's it. And also, if you want to learn more about how the checkout is working, you can go in this Stripe documentation for the payment. You can go through the quick start and other parameter. That's pretty simple to go with. So first thing first, what I need from this Stripe, I need two set of things. One is that Stripe publishable key, one is the secret key. So here is the tab, because now as you see I'm here within the super gear. So as you see in the developer tabs, you can just click here in the developer tabs, and from here we'll go with the API keys. So that's the one for the public key. So publishable key, you can just make it in public, but for the secret, don't ever try to make it public. It will just start giving you a problem here. So now here I'm gonna just make a blending to create the secret. How I'm gonna do that? So const, I'm gonna make it Stripe, it will be secret, and I'm gonna directly inject it here. You can make it to keep in with the key, it depends on you, but I'll just blend it here. So now I need to have this one more key. I'll reveal the test key, then I'm gonna copy that key. Then after copying, as you see in the admin folder, I have one .env file. I'm gonna keep that key in that env file, then I'm gonna close it. So you need to do the same if you want to deal with that project. Okay, I'm done with that. So if I go with that, I think it will be coming in the transactions here right now. So now its last payment is 1680. So after that, whenever I'm going to create the payment, it will come on that segment. So now let's start setting up our other parameters. So how I can communicate here in the routes, because I don't have any routes yet. But also the packages, as you see, if you just move through all the packages folder, all packages are available here regarding this Stripe, regarding that other parameter. All the packages is applicable here. Even also in the admin, all the packages are available. So we no need to worry about the packages, even though for the development consent, as you see, we have that parcel.json setup here, and also one parcel.json setup here. So you can simply deploy it in Vercel muscle through. Just so easy to do that. And of course, even if you cannot do it, if you're having any problem to understand that, let me know in the comments below. I will help you out. And also, if you're feeling you're learning something new, hit the like button and also subscribe the channel. So now that's the Stripe secret key here. So now, as you see, that's the function is async function here, and of course this alongside with all the code, it will be available here. Okay, that repo will be updated, and all the code what I'm typing here, writing here, you're gonna find it here. You just need to clone it, and please give a star mark here once you're doing that. So now I have that Stripe key. I'm not going to need it right now, that one. So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna communicate with my database there. So instead of writing the secret, I'm gonna just make that as Stripe should be, or I'm gonna just make that as public key. Okay, so that will be my Stripe public key. So after giving a Stripe public key, and of course I can get the user, so that's the user I have here already, so I can access that user too, but I can also keep that at the top. So my application layer, it should be just simple as it is. So now I'm gonna make that Stripe Stripe is equal to await, and then I'm gonna make that as a Stripe promise. So Stripe, I think it should okay, I need to first make one more layer. I need to load a Stripe here to create the Stripe promise. So const Stripe promise is equal to, should be coming from that load Stripe. And of course we need to import it, as it's not automatically coming here, so I need to bring back here. So load Stripe, and within load Stripe I'm gonna just push that through that public key which we are taking at the top. Okay, so now we are having that Stripe public key. Okay, what's the error is coming here? I think nothing. So const Stripe, it should be await Stripe promise. So now if I just log the Stripe, let's see what we're gonna get. So I'm gonna log the Stripe, and of course it will log in my console here. So if we inspect right here, let's see. Okay, give the time to reload. It will it may take a little bit time. So if I click here, as you see, I can get all the Stripe, like for receiving the payment, for creating one of the best thing we're gonna use to redirect to checkout. So all the session things we can grab it here from this Stripe. Okay, so our Stripe is good to go. So now we need to handle another parameter. So now it's time to talk with the API. So make const response. It should be await, because we are going to talk about within the Stripe database. Also, we're going to talk with our API instances, so it should be await. If you don't give the await, it will collapse. So it will be fetch, and then from the fetch, I'm gonna use the backend here, and I'm gonna make that a config, not a confirm, config. Okay, and what is the config here? That config is redirecting here in which data set it's going to go. Of course, I'm gonna run it in my local, as I'm gonna locally going to access this all parameters. So it will be running from my local database server here. So it will be going through a localhost 8000, this data set here. Okay, so now let's go in that checkout here. Config dot base URL means the URL which I'm saying you here, that's the localhost 8000. So the base URL, and after that I'm gonna just hit through one endpoint which will be checkout. So what's going to happen once I hit with that endpoint? We didn't create it, but we're gonna create it in a second. So in the method, we are going to make a post method here. So also for the headers, and the headers we're gonna make that as a content type. So it will be a content type, and the type will apply for application /JSON. So that's the one we're gonna inject here. So after pushing that header in the body, what we're gonna pass it there is that on the body it will be JSON.stringify. You're gonna keep everything as a string as we are talking with the API. So the items, it will be all the products which we are having here. So it will be all the products, and that products is coming as a properties here. As you see in the checkout btn, if we go in our cart product, in the cart product, I believe not the cart product, in the cart I think it will be there. So we go in the cart, you will be able to see we are sending all of the products at, you see, all the cart product as the product we are sending here. So we will be receiving all the cart product here. Okay, this amount total is not recurring here. Okay, so now we are sending that products, and also we're gonna sending that email, and the email it should be that a current user dot email. So that's the email we're going to send. Now after that, what we're gonna receive, let's see. So const checkout session is equal to await response dot JSON. So whatever JSON responses we are getting, we'll make it as a checkout session. Then I'm gonna just check the checkout session. So whatever we are receiving here, it should be available in our console.log. If we just inspect here, it will be coming here, and later on we can access that. So now we need to create a route. As you see, we have the route here. So the route, it should be that checkout.mjs. So we are using the modular.js, so it will be that mjs. As you see, that's the checkout. That's the name should be similar on that name. Otherwise, it will not work. So here you need to see the route for how we set the route. As you see, all are injecting here in that index.mjs, and we are just pouring all the routes as from just reading all the file parameter, then passing it from there. So whatever you file you create in the routes directory here, you no need to make it manually as a file, or just you need to connect it manually. There is automatically it will be directed and connected. So in the checkout, how it's going to be rendering here. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make that it should be const, and it will be router. We're gonna use that router from that express. As you see, it's imported at the top, and also we will call that stripe here, which we are needing later on. So it will be stripe from stripe. Okay, so now we will create the router. So it will be router dot as a post method going to be amplify, and of course the parameter name it will be as a checkout. Okay, so it will be an async routing, as it will just talk with the database and also the local server. So let's hit that. So first thing first, we will make a try catch block. Okay, so in the try catch block, we're going to pass any error which we are getting, if there is any. So it will be res.json. So in the JSON file, we will return a 500 error, and I'm gonna make it a JSON format. And then sorry, it will not be res.json, it will be res.status here. So after the status it will be a 500 code, and then we're gonna pass the JSON method, and we're gonna pass that error, and we will just cooperate with the whatever error we are going to passing here. And after in the try block, what we're gonna say. So in the try block right now, let's just put a res.json. We'll just pass a response here, and we're gonna make a message from there. So the message is that keep alive, so means we are still live here, and we're gonna make that success true, and we're gonna make a status. We can pass a status here, but I will just make the success true. And for right now, that's it, just to say hi hello from this parameter. And after making everything here, we need to export it, export default, and here we need to pass our router. So now if we click on that router in the checkout parameter, we should be able to receive that message. Okay, as well as we are trying here, I'm gonna close all other parameter which is not required right now. So here we're gonna console logging all the session parameters. So if we go here and click here, okay, what is saying here is 404 not found. Okay, why is not found? If we go here and if we make is as a checkout, okay, cannot get means as a post method. So I'm gonna just reload again. Maybe it's getting taking time to get that. If we click here right now, okay, we are missing something here. What we are missing, let's just have a little debugging here. I think we just need to restart our server for a bit maybe. So it will be npm start again. So it happens sometime whenever you are still developing that, maybe some caching data or some other parameter it can hold. So I'm gonna keep reload here and then type that. Okay, now as you see, we're getting the message and everything looks well. Okay, so now what we are having here, so first thing first, we need to destructure our items email, and we are not passing the total amount. And why we are destructuring that one, as you see, if we just make counts request body, and if we just lock that request body, so it will be rec body. So whatever the things we are passing here, just to check if it's coming or not, click here, and it should be coming somewhere here. Okay, I think we need to also add here, because for that index.mjs, so we'll go in the package.json file, and here instead of node we will use that node one, so it will constantly keep running on that. So again, pnpm start. Okay, so now you will see, okay, so now it will continuously give us the other parameter. So let's hit again. So okay, we got keep alive, and as you see, we were getting our items. So as you see, getting the items, so all the items is available here, and also I think in the below we're getting our email. So that's the one we are destructuring here. As we know, we are having our email and having our products here. So now after getting the product here, we need to destructure the product. How we can do it? So why we need to destructure? Because the Stripe, it will not know what kind of things you are going to pass it. So you need to structurize it the way Stripe know. So in the quantity, so whatever the item which you are sending here is an array of items. So after mapping that, we are going to pass that quantity here. And in the price data, the currency will be USD, and unit amount is should be coming with a fraction, that dollar with the cent. So it will send it everything as a cent. So $100, it will be like 1,000 cents. It will become aligned with that. So $10 is 1,000 cents. It's coming on that sense like that. So in the product data, we are passing the name of that product, we are passing the description of that product, we are passing the images of that product. So we are not sending one images because it has a multiple images, so it can be go as an array of images. So that's the extracting items we are extracting from there. So now we need to get this Stripe here. How we can get it? So in here we'll make that const Stripe, and here we can make that, so we can just in the top we can define here const Stripe secret. It should be process.env, as the process env we are maintaining here, and we need to pass the key name Stripe, and it will be Stripe underscore stripe secret key. Okay, so that's the key, we can pass it here. So as we are having the secret key, we can just make that const Stripe is equal to new, and it will be should be coming from that Stripe, and here we're gonna pass that Stripe secret key, and in the parameter we can also pass that API version here. For right now I will use that, yeah, the latest one, 10 for 2024, so the Apple version here. So that's our Stripe integration is here. So now after extracting that item, how we can render that parameter? So what I'm gonna do is there, I'm gonna make it a session, SESSION concession. It should be await, and then Stripe dot, as you see all the instances is available right now. I'm gonna make it a checkout, then I'm gonna pass it with the sessions here, and then I'm gonna make it a parameter function update create, and within that I'm gonna pass the object, and that one should be taking several methods. So it should be payment methods at payment method types. For right now we will just pass one method. There is so many methods is there available, that's why it's an array. You can put multiple method. I'm gonna pass that as a card. And for the line items, so the line items, it will be the extracting items which you're passing here, that will be the line items. And the mode, it should be as for payment mode. And then we're gonna provide one success URL and also one cancel URL. Okay, so that's two URL we will provide. So for the success URL, what I'm gonna do is that, so it will be going to be there in like that way. Okay, so and also for the cancel URL, so I'm gonna just go with that segment and gonna marking that as a cancel. I need to put a comma here. Okay, So if you roll back to the success URL, if you just go over here in the success, you will not be able to go there, because without user you will not be like without that like for the ID you will not be able to go there. So if we just go in the success, as you see, we need that ID here, the session ID, which we are going to pass it from here as in the this parameter. So that will go with the session ID. So checkout session ID going to be inject here. Only then we can access to the success screen. If we are canceling, it will just roll back to our cancel screen. So now that things I think quite good. So we need to send one parameter which going to be session.id. So that's the session ID which we are requiring there right now. So we have everything done here, right? So if everything got to go, we should be see some magic in our front-end status queue. As you see, we have around 2155. So if we just go in our previous checkout segment, we have 1680. There will be some discrepancy on the value. We'll check it out first. Check this payment, what we have, 1680. Okay, so now still there is something is pending here. So if we roll back here in the checkout, so now as you see, as we did each and everything here constantly, right? So now what we need to do more is that we need to find a way to declare the result. So the const result, so I'm gonna keep within a key. You can just put in any way. So as a tx, I need to provide the type, so it can be any, and it will be await, and I'm gonna get my stripe here. Okay, so stripe dot redirect to, oops, it will be dot if stripe instances is there, it should be redirect to checkout, and within the checkout I'm gonna within the object I'm gonna pass the session ID. That session ID going to be my checkout session dot ID. Okay, so how we gonna get that? As you see, that's the checkout session, and here we're gonna passing that ID. So that's the ID we're gonna capture here, and we can get it directly here. So now if we can also pass a parameter, if results dot error is available, then we can just alert, we can alert with that. So that should be our result dot error dot message if anything happen, if like error is coming only then, otherwise it will directly take us to our success screen. So now if we just click on the checkout, as you see, we have items here, 8 items altogether, so 8 items and amount available there. So we click on that checkout button. Now let's see where it gonna take us. If we just roll back here in our client side directory here, I think it's not taking anywhere yet. So I'm gonna make a reload here again, because it will take time to integrate that. Let's click checkout again. Anything happened? Nothing. Okay, just give it the time to console. Nope. Did we miss something here? So I'm gonna just inspect a bit why nothing is happening. Okay, there is some errors we're getting. So integration stripe redirect checkout, you must provide one of line items or session ID. So means we are missing something here. So that's the session ID we provide. I think, yeah, that's the session ID we are passing it there. So if we go back here, session.id. Okay, what we are getting here, first let's just make this one in a log here. So that could be a log, and we're gonna see what we are sending in the checkout segment. Click here. Okay, error is coming, checkout, okay, invalid request type, and blah blah blah. It didn't provide an API key. You need to provide, okay, the API key is not getting okay, so our publishable key, like our secret key, is not getting there. So we need to make something here to figure it out why it's not taking. So in our index.mjs, did we use that? I think we use, yeah, process.env. We get that process. Okay, so that .env is there. I think that's enough for to create that. Yeah, import.env.config. Yeah, that's it. I don't know why it's not working. Let's just try again. Maybe that could be an error for that properties. Let's see. Click. Okay, again. as the default sandbox. Okay, let's just debug it a bit. I think we found the way of that problem here. We just mess around with the Stripe secret key name. I was just misspelled one error here. So be careful once you're typing here. Just try to match with that env file written here, which is the Stripe secret key. Otherwise, you will get some unlisted error here. So that's what we are getting right now. Okay, so we're gonna close it here. So right now, let's try to get one Stripe payment here. So click checkout. And now as you see, we are here in this Stripe payment here. So 2115 should be our payment. The previous one is 1680. And you may remember there is a price discrepancy here. As you see, that is coming here like some other price. That should be 2155, right? So if we just roll back again here to 115 to 115 or to, yeah, that's some difference here because we are having the text emission shipping address that should not be added here as raw method. So we're gonna figure it out. You need to just remove that one, then this product price will be mashed together. So if you minus these two together, that's I think around 40, then you will get the exact value here, so which is going to be to you can just check with the 2115. So now I'm going to put my email and the photo which is going to be the default Stripe properties here. So 351234 CBC, and I'm going to provide my name and let's pay. So after payment, so we should get an session ID, and with the session ID we're going to land here. As you see, we're landing in our success screen, and as you see, our card is going just pass it out as empty. We can view our orders, and also we can go and other parameter. For right now, it's not don't worry about that, so I'm not handling this parameter here. So let's see, everything is working smoothly. Or actually we can view the orders. As you see, let's just go in the orders. Yeah, so I think you can see the orders previously which we have been trying to 115, and you can get all the data here regarding your price segment and everything. And if you connected your Firebase database properly, you should be able to get everything in the Firebase too. So that's the little bit of dummy description about how you can connect Stripe in your proceeding of that any application creating with the React.js. So as you see, that's the very simple procedure. We are just connecting here using that React.js and like the JavaScript and also the Node.js. So that's the simple setup. You just create a route which can talk through the Stripe integrated, and it can be just go through there and make that promises how it can be done. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna in the orders. So also one more things which I didn't pass here, you can just pass that email also if you are looking forward that in the metadata. As you see, so in that cancel URL we can pass one metadata. So in the metadata, what you're gonna do is just going to pass the email. So if you just roll back in your transaction here, just make a reload here, and after reloading you should be able to see the transaction, right? So which 2115 should be available here. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, that's the payment is done. You see, so the customer email and everything is just available here. You can also drag that properties to your own dashboard if you want it to, and you see all the prices, all the quantities are available, and pretty much everything is there. So that's the simple setup, and of course that link, it will be in the description, so you can get entirely this project within your domain. And of course I'm gonna provide you the video also by which you can learn how to create that project from the scratch. So it depends on you. If you have like 6 to 8 hours to spend with that, you can fully build an e-commerce website for yourself. So I think that's up for today. So again, before going, let's create one more payment. It's very easy to make payment nowadays. You see, I'm gonna use a lot of product here. So how much is 366? Let's add some more products, make it 10,000 more products. Okay, now still not 10,000. What is this? Okay, so 11,950. Let's create a checkout. It should not be that amount, we know that one. So it should be around something. How much is that? Let's see. Okay, still loading, and sometimes it will be a bit of annoying to get that with the loading. Don't worry about that. Whenever you are developing mode, it will be causing that error. Okay, we're getting 11,910. I'm gonna go with my separate email admin, and it will be same that 4242 and 35123. Provide a name, test user, try. So 11,910 should be should be received here. So I'm gonna go in the root layer of the transaction. Okay, it will again create a loading instances here. So let's go in the transaction, and here, okay, that's our, and you see the email is changed. So we use that email, and also the name, everything going to be changed, you see. So test user admin. Okay, that's cool. So I think that's the way you can create a very flexible payment solution here. So if you go in the view orders, you go in the bottom, I'm just making it the bottom align, you see, that's your parameter here. You can see the product, you can see the quantity, you can see the price, you can see the subtotal, everything is in the perfect shape. And again, if you're believing that that project is motivating you, as you see, that's having every single functionality. You see, almost all the functionality is covered up here. If this one is motivating you, let me know in the comments below. And if you are feeling that you are going to clone something else, like in some different website, let me drop the link in the description or drop the link in the comments. I'm going to help you out to how to create that website and how to make it easily as your own. So I think all the best for all of you. Create that project, make that as your own, and deploy it. Then also share the link so I can see how you deploy that one. All the best for this project, and I'm gonna see you around in next video.